Sound cut out partially yesterday, but hopefully it's working a little better today. It's not even 8 o'clock where I am, and I am so exhausted. I almost decided to skip doing this today because I just want to go to bed. And then I thought, well, I could also just do it from bed. So I've had a few occasions over the past few weeks of doing things that really scare me. And one of the things was going to the storytelling event. I told you guys about that a few videos ago where they held one and my body just would not let me go. I was like just so intimidated. I felt so shy. Which I'm someone who has stood on stage in front of like thousands and thousands of people and put on a performance, and I couldn't bring myself to leave the house and go to the storytelling event. This is what depression caused some agoraphobia. And I ended up doing it the next time they held the event, and I won. I won first place at the storytelling event. And then today I had another experience similar to that where a few weeks ago I was skiing here at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, and I got on the tram and got smushed. They pack 100 people onto those things, and my claustrophobia kicked in, and I was like, I need to get off of this tram right now. And like at first I couldn't get off because I was so trapped. And I finally like pushed all that years of concert going paid off. And I finally weaseled my way off of the tram and had a full-on panic attack on the mountain, and ski patrol had to come. And then the next day, a friend went with me and he was like, we'll get you to the window. I'll create a little like barrier and we'll get you to the top. And so we did it together and ski down. And I was like, yay, I did it. I never have to do it again. Last night here in Jackson, it snowed 8 inches. And of course, I'm a size queen. So I was very excited to go skiing today. And as I'm walking up to the mountain after my morning meetings, there's no line for the tram. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can do it by myself. And I go and I stand in line and I get onto the tram and I get myself a window seat, and I took a video of it. It's on my threads right now. A little time lapse of going to the very top of the mountain. And the way that I did it is by taking really good care of myself, by telling myself like every step of the way, I don't have to do this. I can just turn around at any point. That's one of the ways that I trick myself into doing scary things, is just saying, you know what? You don't have to do it. Like when I went to that storytelling event, I was like, all you have to do is drive to the parking lot. You don't even have to get out of the car. And so I got myself on the tram. I got to the top of the mountain. And like you would think the scary thing would be going down, a double black diamond mogul field off of cliffs where you could very easily, very literally die. People die skiing every single day on the mountain. My dad was a ski patroller for decades. He has so many stories of pulling dead bodies off of the mountain. So you would think that's the scary thing, but no, the scary thing for me is being packed into a tiny area. And I think part of the reason that it's so scary for me is because I'm very sensitive and I can feel everything that everyone else is feeling all of the time, but especially in an enclosed space. So I have a helmet that has a sound system. So I put on some healing tones, some solfeggio tones, some sound frequencies in order to trick my brain into being like, everything's cool, everything's good, you're chill, everything's fine. As I said, I arranged myself so I could like see out the window. I gave myself the assignment of like, you're going to take the time lapse all the way to the top so I could like focus on something that wasn't just like, there are so many people in here and I can feel everything that they're feeling. And then we got to the top and I got off, and it was just such a beautiful bluebird day. If you're a skier, you know what that means. If you don't, it means that it skied the day before, and then like pure blue skies, and you're just at the very top of the mountain looking out into this beautiful world. And it's just one of those moments where I get to say, wow, wow, look at this beautiful world. There weren't that many people on the mountain today. What day is it? Like Tuesday or something. So it wasn't, like a weekend like pack of people, but there were enough people where I was like, I don't want to be around people while they're skiing down something dangerous. Like I've been skiing literally since I could walk, since I was, this was the 80s, so I was probably like 2 or 3 years old. So I know how to ski. I can get down a mountain. But not everyone can do that. And so the most dangerous part of skiing for me is other people. So I cruised over to a part of the mountain where I didn't think anyone would be. And indeed, there was hardly anyone else there, which is, of course, not a safe thing to do. That is a very dangerous thing to do. If you're skiing, you should always have a ski buddy with you, or at least be within sight where other people can see you. So if things go sideways, which they did today, I did have one fall today, and my shoulder is hurting a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. I just kind of like sat down. But I was just so proud of myself for doing this thing that was really scary, that actually caused a very dangerous nervous system response, a full on panic attack, which for me looks like screaming and crying and blacking out uncontrollably. So I managed to get myself, to the top of the hill and down the hill just with the biggest smile on my face. I had Beyonce and Janelle Monáe playing through my helmet as I cruised through the hills of Jackson Hole. And it was exhausting. I skied 10 miles today through all the fresh powder. I don't know if we're expecting more snow overnight. The other thing I got to do today that was could have been a little scary was I once again took the doggies for a walk. Dog sitting right now. Took the doggies for a walk through the forest and came across a moose den. And I wrote about this on my Facebook page. Kind of the spiritual meaning of running into this moose. And I've seen moose like almost every day for the past several days. But I'm, walking with the dogs and then having the moose be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Like, I don't want the dogs to get hurt. Obviously, I don't want to get hurt either. But we had a moment where I was like, "Hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. No, this is your den. I'm going to turn around and go the other way." And we just got to walk away. So a bunch of scary stuff happened today. And I brought the fear along for the ride. And that, my friends, is how you build confidence. It's not by being like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing and I feel great about it 100%." It's doing the things that scare you and just being like, "Hey, I'm bringing the fear along with me. You're coming too, fear. You're not making the decisions for me. I am making the decisions. I like my spiritual self." Sometimes it's easier for me to like give a little character to my fear. So I picture it like my little chihuahua who passed last year. I picture my little inner chihuahua that's so scared of, everything. And I just have to remind it, like, you know what? I understand that you're scared and your fear is valid, but the reality is that you're safe right now and I'm going to take care of you. And this is how I talk to myself. Hey, I know you're scared right now and I'm going to take care of you, but I also know you're going to have a really good fucking time skiing down this hill through. And I found a bunch of fresh tracks. That's one of my talents as a skier. Even if I, don't get there first thing in the morning, my intuition always guides me to where there are fresh tracks. And I was just like hooting and hollering down the mountain. And I really am just so proud of myself for doing that today. And I'm also proud of myself for coming on here live. I have this challenge for myself for no reason than just to see what happens if I go live here on YouTube every single day for the month of February. We just see what happens. I'm trying to go live for at least 10 minutes, so I got another minute here. So we had Baseball Bryson Pro. Hello. We got a booty. Hi. Hi everybody. Hello, Ahmed. Welcome. Welcome here. Um, One other thing I did yesterday that I don't think I talked about on here, I've done a lot of therapy in my life. I've done 2 decades of various types of therapy to help me just learn how to be a human being in this world. But I will be honest with you guys, like I don't want to discourage you from finding a good therapist. All right, emphasis on good. But I also talk to psychics, and I get just so much clarity and so much peace talking to psychics. So I was telling the psychic of like everything I've been through this past year and how it's caused me to just be really fearful of what's going to come in the future of what else there is to lose. And I'm having this, in the Buddhist or yogic sense, this like attachment issue where I'm like, I don't want to lose anything else. But of course, the nature of being human is that everything is always changing. So as I was saying, my grandma died last year, then my dog died, I had a miscarriage, and a relationship ended, and I've just been grieving so much. And the psychic was like, well, your grandma's at peace. She was really angry in her life, and now she's finally at peace, and she's with you a lot. And I was like, okay, that's nice. And he was like, and your dog is like always with you. And I just immediately started crying, and I was like, I miss him so much. He was my soul dog. We were together every day for 9 years. We traveled the world together. And the psychic was like, well, I know that you miss him in this form, but like he's here. Like he's there. Like you don't like if I don't know if any of you have this association to the spirit world, but it's like it's basically just like a different dimension that the human eyeballs cannot see, but you can feel it. You can absolutely feel it. So when I got to the top of the mountain today, every once in a while when I'm skiing, I feel Spike, my dog, my Chihuahua, who was like, "This is why you would leave me at home to go do this. This is so fun. And now we get to do it together. Now I get to do it with you." And that was part of the reason that today was so fun, as I was like, as I mentioned earlier, like channeling my inner little scared Chihuahua and being like, hey, we're doing this thing and I know it's a little scary, but it's also going to be really, really fun. And we just had such a great time. All right. I made it to 10 minutes, my friends. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what kind of stuff I feel like talking about tomorrow. And I hope you all have a beautiful night. Is it almost 8 o'clock? I try not to fall asleep before 8 o'clock, but it's like 7:56 and I am so, so tired. So I'm gonna stay awake for 4 more minutes and then I'm gonna pass the fuck out. So you guys have a beautiful night. Mwah. Bye.